Growing up in my family was like being stuck in a play where I didn't audition for the role. My dad was the loud, overbearing patriarch, always quick with a judgment, always slow with affection. My mom was his quiet echo, always trying to keep the peace but never standing up for me. I was the eldest of 3 siblings, and somewhere along the way, I became the default, responsible one. That role followed me like a curse. When I landed my first stable job at 24, my parents didn't congratulate me. Instead, they casually mentioned how the house needed new plumbing and my younger brother's college fees were due. I paid. When my sister wanted help with her wedding, I covered the photographer and later, the down payment for her and her husband's apartment. It wasn't that I minded helping. I loved my family. But over time, it stopped being help and started being expected. That night at dinner was supposed to be a celebration, my promotion to senior project manager. We were at a nice steakhouse downtown, a rare splurge. I'd reserved the table, paid for the Uber for my parents, and even pre-ordered wine so they wouldn't complain about the wait. Everyone was there: Mom, Dad, my brother Ryan with his latest girlfriend, and my sister Kim with her husband Dan. They were all already halfway through appetizers when I got there, late from wrapping up a client call. "You look tired," my dad remarked as I sat down. "Maybe it's time to grow a backbone and stop letting work run your life." It wasn't even the worst thing he's ever said. Not even close. I forced a smile. "Yeah, work's been intense, but I'm managing." "Barely," he said, scoffing. He turned to Ryan. "Look at your brother. Always stressed out, always chasing money. Doesn't even act like a real man anymore." Ryan chuckled, not even hiding it. "Maybe he needs a beer or two." That's when I realized no one at that table saw me. Not as a person, just as a provider. An ATM with a face. Still, I tried to let it go. I really did. I sipped my drink and focused on the menu. Then Dad picked up his fork, pointed it at me, and said it. "You don't even act like a real man." Something broke. I set my glass down and looked at him. "You're absolutely right." Everyone stopped. Even Ryan. "I'm not going to act like a man by your definition anymore. I'm done trying to earn your approval. And I'm especially done footing the bill for everyone at this table." "What's that supposed to mean?" Kim asked sharply. "It means this dinner? It's on you guys. I'm not paying any more. For this, for your rent, for your school loans, for any of it." Mom gasped softly. "Honey, don't be like that. We didn't mean." But I had already pushed my chair back. "No, Mom. You didn't mean anything. That's the problem. You've all taken and never once asked how I'm doing. So I'm done." I stood up, grabbed my coat, and walked out. The cold air outside bit at my face, but it was nothing compared to the numbness I'd felt inside for years. I didn't look back. I went home alone that night. For the first time in years, I slept without checking my phone for messages about emergencies, bills, or favors. And in the silence of that night, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: relief. The next morning, my phone was buzzing before 8 a.m. missed calls from Mom. One text from Kim that just said, "Seriously? Grow up." Ryan, of course, didn't even bother to text, probably still sleeping off whatever drink he ordered after I left. But the call I was surprised to get was from Dan, my sister's husband. "Hey man," he started, voice low and weirdly sympathetic. "I just wanted to say, I get it. Last night was a lot." Dan never really said much at family gatherings, but I always thought he was decent. He worked a normal office job, kept to himself, didn't get involved in drama. I appreciated the call, but I didn't say much. Just thanked him and told him I needed some space. And that's exactly what I took. For the next 2 weeks, I didn't respond to family group texts, didn't answer calls, and didn't send money. The world didn't end. My siblings didn't get evicted. My dad didn't die of shame. Life went on. And weirdly, mine started to improve. I went to the gym after work. Started cooking for myself again. Took a weekend trip to the mountains by myself. No spreadsheets, no obligations. Just silence and sky. But, of course, the peace didn't last long. It was a Saturday morning when Mom showed up at my apartment. I knew she still had a spare key from when she used to check on me while I was traveling for work, but I didn't expect her to actually use it. I was making coffee when she stepped into the kitchen, looking nervous but composed. "You don't answer your phone anymore?" she asked quietly. I stared at her. "Didn't realize you were coming over. A heads up would have been nice." She nodded slowly, looking around the kitchen like she hadn't seen it before. "You've done well for yourself." "Yeah," I said, handing her a cup. "I have, and I'm trying to actually enjoy it now." She took the coffee and sat down at the table. For a long time, she didn't speak, just held the mug in both hands like it grounded her. "I know your dad is hard on you," she finally said. "But he's from a different generation. He doesn't know how to say he's proud." I scoffed. "Then he needs to stop saying I'm a failure." She flinched a little. "He doesn't think that. He wants you to be strong." "I am strong. I just stopped being your financial backup plan." "That's not weakness. That's setting boundaries." She looked at me then, really looked. For the first time in a long time, I didn't see the passive mom who just let things slide. I saw someone who looked tired, maybe even ashamed. "You're right," she said softly. "You've done more for this family than anyone ever should have asked of you. We took advantage of that. I think we all knew it, but none of us wanted to say it. That stunned me. I'm not asking you to come back," she continued, "but I hope you'll forgive me someday. I should have protected you more. I let your father's words go too far." I sat down across from her, unsure what to say. I wasn't ready to forgive, not yet. But hearing her say that, it chipped away at the wall I'd built. "You don't have to fix everything, Mom," I said. "But maybe it's time we all start fixing ourselves." She nodded. "I'll leave the key," she said before walking to the door. And just like that, she was gone. But for the first time in years, I finally felt like someone in my family had actually seen me. A couple of weeks passed after Mom's visit. I didn't reach out to anyone, but I felt the shift. The group text slowed down. No more passive-aggressive requests for help with this month's utilities or just a small loan until payday. The silence was uncomfortable at first, but over time, it turned into peace. Then came the message from Dad. Just a short, blunt text. "Let's talk. Just you and me." I stared at it for a long time. My first instinct was to ignore it, maybe even block his number. But something in me, curiosity, maybe, said go. Not for him. For myself. We met at a small diner halfway between our homes. Neutral ground. I got there first and ordered black coffee. He walked in a few minutes later, slower than I remembered. He wasn't an old man yet, but he looked older than the last time I saw him. Stress, maybe. Or guilt. He sat across from me without a word and nodded to the waitress for a coffee of his own. We sat in silence for a bit. He cleared his throat like he was about to start, then stopped himself. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet. Not weak, but not his usual dominant tone either. "I was hard on you. Too hard. Always thought pushing you would make you stronger. Didn't realize I was just pushing you away." I didn't respond immediately. I wanted to hear more. I needed more. I was raised to believe men don't ask for help. They handle things. Provide. Protect. That's what I tried to do. But I didn't see that I was making you carry the weight for all of us. He took a long sip of coffee. "You've done more than I ever did at your age." And instead of being proud, I was jealous. Embarrassed, maybe. "You became the man I never figured out how to be." That hit harder than I expected. I finally spoke. I wasn't asking for perfection. I just wanted respect. Maybe even a little kindness. "I know," he said. "And I'm sorry. For all of it. The pressure, the comments, the way we leaned on you without thinking what it was costing you." Another long pause. Then he looked up, eyes tired. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted you to hear it from me. Not your mother. Not your sister. Me." It wasn't an emotional reunion. There were no hugs or dramatic breakdowns. Just two men, finally saying what needed to be said. When we finished, he paid for the meal. That was a first. As we stood outside the diner, he stuck out his hand. I shook it. "Whatever happens from here," I said, "it has to be different. I'm not going back to being the family wallet." He nodded. "Fair." We parted ways, and I didn't feel lighter, exactly, but I felt like I'd finally put something down I'd been carrying way too long. Back home, I opened my laptop and did something I'd been meaning to do for months. Applied for a remote job overseas. A position that would take me to Europe for at least a year. Something I'd put off because I was always needed back home. 2 weeks later, I got the offer. And this time, I accepted without asking anyone's opinion. As I packed my bags, my phone lit up. It was a message from Mom. "Wherever you go, just know I'm proud of you. Always have been. I just didn't say it enough." I smiled. For the first time in my life, I wasn't running from something. I was finally walking toward myself.